Today we will talk about how best to approach your classes, your lectures, your tutorials and seminars, and the practical aspects of your course. We will talk about preparing for your classes and how to take an active approach during your classes. And I will make suggestions for things that you can do after class to help fix your work in your mind. For the duration of today's lesson, don't worry about when you will fit these extra study activities in. We will go into detail about this in days 4 and 5. Lectures are the principal way in which you are taught, so it's vital to have a good attitude and approach to them. To make note-taking easier in class, look at your syllabus beforehand and think about the topics that are coming up and do some preliminary reading. Make sure that you understand all of the preceding lectures and try to appreciate how the upcoming lecture fits into the course. During the lecture, listen actively, not passively. Having done some preliminary reading, you can concentrate on listening to and understanding what is being said. You can take a critical interest and carefully select and record the main points that the lecturer is making. Try to relate what is being said to what you already know. Try to anticipate what the lecturer will talk about and try to appreciate his or her approach. To make sure that you understand the lecture and how it fits into the course, revisit your lecture notes after class. The revisiting technique is another cornerstone of this course. We will go into detail about this on day 4. So, prepare for and attend all of your lectures. Listen actively and make good notes. Then revisit your notes soon after class. By approaching your lectures in this way, you will have an excellent foundation for dealing with your tutorials, seminars and practical classes. Tutorials and seminars. Often, the topic to be discussed in your tutorial or seminar will be pre-arranged. You may have been issued with a syllabus, for example, detailing what will be covered in each session. Do some preparation beforehand so that you will be ready to take part in any discussions. Tutorials and seminars are a good opportunity to clear up any difficulties you may be having or to seek advice. Try to take an active part in the discussion. Ask questions and listen carefully to what everyone has to say. You may be surprised by how much you can learn from the contributions of other students. So when the electron returns to the ground state, it emits a photon which has the same energy as the gap between the energy levels. Right, I understand. Many students find tutorials and seminars quite stressful and unenjoyable. However, they are a compulsory part of the course, so work on developing a positive attitude towards them. If you can do this, they will become a less stressful occasion and you will find them a valuable aid to your learning. In tutorials and seminars, your mind is stimulated in many ways. You learn by talking, reading, writing, observing, listening and thinking. They are rich learning environments. Because of this, you can learn a lot in a relatively short period of time, so take full advantage of them. Think of them as shortcuts to learning. And don't be afraid to ask what you think are silly questions. If you were thinking something, then it is likely that there are others thinking it too. Any notes that you make in your tutorials and seminars should be added to your lecture notes so that all your notes on each topic are in one place. Practical classes and fieldwork. Preparation is the key to making the most of a practical class or a field trip. Read the practical script beforehand and make the connection in your mind between the experiment and what you have learned in your lectures and in your studies. Do not treat them as separate. Seeing things for yourself is a great way to learn, providing you understand what you are seeing. Good preparation helps you to do this. Many students do not read the practical script beforehand, and then in the session they will passively follow the instructions as quickly as possible in order to get out early. They will often not have a clue what they are doing or why they are doing it. They will only consider what the practical was about when they get around to writing it up. Develop a better attitude.
Ask yourself, what is the point of practical sessions? Well, practical sessions are to help you develop your hands-on skills and to confirm for yourself the things that you have been told in your lectures. Many university courses have no practical content as such. Those that do are very fortunate to have this extra method of learning, so take full advantage of it. Having thought about the purpose of the practical session or field trip beforehand, during the session you can think carefully about what you are doing and consider how it relates to what you have learnt. Remember, as with any large task, the best way to deal with writing up a practical session is to break the task down into smaller, digestible subtasks, each of which will take you between 30 minutes and an hour to complete.